B4B TV. Real people, real stories, real Bradford.
Welcome, everyone, to the B4B TV podcast, where we delve into the stories that shape our communities. So, real stories of real people in real Bradford. I'm your host, Kash Ahmed, and today we're exploring a unique fusion of art and sport. We're joined by the world champion boxer and Bradford native Tasif Khan to discuss the exhibition Fighting to be Heard, an exhibition that intertwines the disciplines of boxing and Arabic calligraphy, currently on display at Cartwright Hall Art Gallery as part of the Bradford 2025 UK City of Culture. Welcome, Tasif. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Can't complain. It's nice to be part of this. It's been nice to be part of this Fighting to be Heard. And it's great to see you guys, B4B, getting a hold of it and getting it out to the community, larger community.
Awesome. So I just want to ask you a little bit about your kind of start, before we get onto the exhibition, a little bit about your start in your personal journey in your boxing career. So you began boxing, I think, at the age of 10, was it, at Bradford Police
Yeah,
Boys Club? So
yeah,
what drew
yeah.
you to the sport at such a young age, and how did it shape your early life?
Well, to be honest with you, I was one of those kids who couldn't sit still, loads of energy, not necessarily naughty, but just loads of energy. So I was involved in all sports. You're talking anything I can get my hands on, football, cricket, basketball, tennis, table tennis. At the time, at 9 years old, 8, 9 years old, I think I was doing karate and kickboxing with my older brother because that's what he was into. So the fact of getting involved in boxing at the age of 10, if it came about sooner, I would have got involved in boxing sooner. But I think there was an age limit of starting boxing at the age of 10 at the time. And I was part of the youth club. I used to go down to a local youth club called Bradford Police Boys, just off Walker Drive, off Thornton Road. So that's how it came about. I went down, used to go with my brothers and friends and older siblings. They used to go down to the local youth club, be part of the youth club, play football, cricket, table tennis, pool, all the kind of things that you might find in the youth club. But I got drawn towards a small room in a corner, which was the boxing club. Put my name down at the age of 10. I think I was still 9, put my name down, and I was soon to be 10. So they says, put your name on the waiting list. And then when my call came a couple of weeks later, a month or two later, I think, I was 10. And ever since, never turned back.
Awesome. So fast forward, you've secured multiple titles, including the WBC Silver Super Flyweight and the WBO Continental Africa Championships. Which of these achievements stands out most to you, and why?
Yeah, so first of all, winning my first world title was probably a massive kick for me because again, you got to take into context me being a young kid from Bradford at the age of 10, coming from an inner city deprived area, watching our role models and icons, sporting icons on TV. You're talking Ricky Hatton and these people defending the WBU world title numerous times on TV. And then me being involved in the same sport and getting a call to box for the same title you've just been watching on TV all the years that you've been growing up. So that was like an iconic moment. First of all, I didn't really
Yeah.
believe it at the time it came, but it was a reality that came into, a dream come reality, as they say. So that probably was a massive moment for us, not just for me, but also for Bradford, making history for Bradford, bringing the World Championship boxing to Bradford, first time ever, history making. We made it in Cedar Court. So winning that belt, going home with that belt, watching that, having that belt on the side of me was massive. It was massive for me. It was sometimes unbelievable in a way. So it took a few weeks, a pinching moment, that kind of thing, to think that I was watching someone defend this numerous times on TV, growing up throughout my ages, and then having that belt and being amongst those lists of legends like Roy Jones Jr. to have the same WBU world title was massive. But then growing through boxing, I think now in our kind of era, the iconic belt to have was probably the WBC green belt because of the person and the iconic legend. Eden, 1 second, sorry about that, got youngins. But yeah, so just basically who had it at the era So in our area, you're talking Mayweather was an iconic legend, and he had the belt. So for me and many other boxers, probably to get hold of the WBC green belt was massive. So yeah, two iconic belts, WBU and WBC for me, and mashallah, we've got both.
Awesome, mashallah. Fantastic. So you've also established the Tasif Khan Community Boxing Academy. So what inspired you to establish that academy in Bradford, and what goals did you have in mind for that for the community?
I mean, what inspired me, this is not just me, this is a joint effort. Again, it was a dream kind of from a young age when we were coming up through Bradford Police Boys. Our kind of inspiration, our role model, our kind of mentor, shall we say, was Mr. Allen from Bradford Police Boys, who not just myself, but many kids he helped off the street, put them into boxing and guided them through. One being namely Junior Witter, also WBC world champion, iconic boxer, famous boxer. So really, he was like our mentor. Then we made a kind of like as a young, probably about 15, 16 years of age, me and my good friend Nissar Hussain, we used to go boxing together. And we decided at a young age that, look, eventually at some point, because we always had the dream, we're going to continue boxing, take this as far as we can as a competitive sport. And then eventually we're going to open something for the community, just like, and have the same ambitions to put something back into our community where we've grown up to help the next generation. And I think it was great to link hands with Dr. Sohail from B4B, who had the same aspirations, same dreams about putting something in. And it was thanks to him who found our premises, found our place, linked hands with myself and me and him, and joined our journey. And I'm sure he'll agree it was a long journey to getting it up and running, from where it started. But again, we joined hands together, and it was a team effort really to get things going from Tasif Khan Community Boxing Academy.
Great. I'm going to move now on to the Fighting to be Heard exhibition. So it's a collaboration between you and calligrapher Razwan Ul-Haq. How did this partnership come about, and what was the inspiration behind merging boxing with calligraphy?
Yeah, I mean, the initial, first of all, Rizwan, yeah, he's a great calligraphy artist, and Rizwan was a good friend, again, introduced via Dr. Sohail. We became good friends. He became a regular attendee at the boxing sessions that we initially did at a gym in Manningham, not in our TKCBA gym academy, because at that time we didn't have it. So Rizwan used to come, not just himself, but also bring his kids along. And during COVID time, we used to have a small session that used to get quite full, to be honest, but we didn't have many places left. And many of our close friends, and they used to come down and bring their kids with them. And Rizwan was one of them. So I got to know his background, what he does, and vice versa. And then during this last time, a couple of years ago, was it when it came about, just before this Bradford 2025 Capital of Culture, Rizwan approached us and says, am I okay to do some calligraphy workshops down at the academy? Because we had a good base of members, we had some good family community sessions, we had some good trust, obviously, amongst the community and the families, and trust with the parents and the kids, and everyone likes like that. So really, it was just a premises for them to use and do some workshops. Again, it was Bradford, libraries was also, I got told, was involved, and also the museum, where they were the part of the museum team there came down and said, can we do this? So initially I thought it was doing a few calligraphy workshops down at the gym, community workshops with the parents and families down at the gym and academy. I think it was 4 sessions what we did, and I said absolutely, I'm happy for that. And in fact, I was quite intrigued and interested to do a little bit of calligraphy myself. So that's how it started. After the first session or two, we got told that there's an opportunity, and this is the opportunity. This is the main reason why they want to do the workshops, is to have a team of members, team of TKCBA team, including Dr. Sohail, myself, who's part of Dr. Sohail's the chair of TKCBA, to also go down with some family community members and other members of the TKCBA team to go down to London to the British libraries, and to be able to play a big part in getting some important ancient artifacts and manuscripts, Quran manuscripts including, and seeing if we can persuade them in getting them over to Bradford into our museum as part of the Bradford City of Culture. So that was the journey. And as soon as we heard that, obviously my background being coming from a religious background, Muslim background, I knew the kind of importance it will have on our, not just myself. I wasn't initially, you could say we were being a bit selfish because I was like, wow, you're talking some of the ancient pieces over 1300 years old and things like that. I was like, wow, we've got this in our country where we can be able to see these. And it was a bit of a shock to the system. And then obviously it was a no-brainer. We were definitely going to say yeah, because it was an opportunity for us again to give back to the community, for us to play a small part in trying to persuade them to bring it back to Bradford, because we know how iconic it would be, and it has been, as we've shown. And we said this right from the beginning, that you bring these to Bradford, let our community and people surrounding areas come and visit these, because you don't understand, it'll be massive for them. People from our area, people from our community areas pay thousands and thousands of pounds to go all around the world to see similar things. So if you can have the opportunity to bring them here to Bradford, for them to take part and be involved in and be able to see firsthand, I think it'll be massive. And we promised this to them, including Dr. Sohail, myself, the other board members, family members, and the team that went down to London. We promised this to the team of British Libraries and Bradford team 2025. And we said, look, you're not going to be disappointed, and it will be a massive success, which it has been.
Sounds absolutely awesome. Boxing and calligraphy seem like kind of contrasting fields. So what similarities have you discovered between the two, particularly kind of in terms of discipline and expression?
Yeah, I mean, initially, you ask anyone, calligraphy, boxing, probably the first question I got from everyone was why or how, boxing and calligraphy. But if you ask people now, genuinely myself, I never took part in calligraphy, by also being a first-hand outlooker, or someone just observing from the outside. I do understand you need a very, very clear mind, a clear mindset. You need confidence in what you're doing. You need a control is a key word, and discipline, like you just said. Some of these key words are they're replicating both, attributes. Same with boxing. You need a clear mind. You need a clear mindset. You need confidence in what you're doing, and you definitely need discipline in what you're doing. And it's not a case of, same with calligraphy. Speaking to Rizwan, and I'm sure you can get to speak to Rizwan, it doesn't come overnight. There's many hours of practice and dedication, and many sacrifices you have to make to be excel in that field. And same with boxing. To get to that level of even any competition, any kind of competition in boxing, you have to give up a lot, sacrifice a lot, show a lot of discipline, show a lot of confidence, and these kind of show a lot of, like, hand and mind and mental skills is the best way to say it. So really, same with boxing, your hand and feet and mind have to all work together in collaboration. So when you put them both together and strip it back, both the attributes, you definitely come up with a lot of these keywords like control, confidence, discipline.
So just looking at the exhibition highlights, the exhibition features rare items from the British Library's Arabic and Urdu collections. Are there specific pieces that resonated with you personally?
Yeah, definitely for me, I was really intrigued. When we went down initially, we seen what I got drawn towards, and I'm not gonna lie, even before we went down, we was told and promised we were going to see some ancient manuscripts, Quran manuscripts, that could have possibly been around our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time. You're talking 9th century, 1300 years ago, 8th century, 7th century. There was one which they said is not being carbon dated, that we were able to see, mashallah, that was possibly used from the same animal that was around our Prophet's time. So, which shows that you're talking over 1300 years. And then the one that we've got at the Cartwright Hall, we've got two pieces that were from 8th and 9th century. So you're talking very, very old pieces. So that's what, Quran manuscripts. So these are the pieces that I was very, very drawn toward, because I wanted to see, and looking at the kind of the style they were written in, the calligraphy kind of style, and even down to the margins and the space around the margins on the way that they were written. there was a reason behind that. And I'm sure you'll be able to, if you go down to the Cartwright Hall, they'll be able to explain that. Like, for example, there was one with a lot of patterns in the margins, and that showed how rich they were. That shows their wealth, and that was the reason why they did all the patterns and things in the margins. And there was one with some commentary written in between the lines on the where the Quran was written, and it was very very interesting to see how some pieces of the old manuscripts of the Quran there was without the, as we might call it now in our age, without the grammar, without the zabar zair and the nuks. So it would have been very hard to understand reading it without the Zabar there for us. But you
Yeah.
can see what really stood out for me is no matter what era, no matter how much of a decade, how old they were, our Quran, mashallah, you can see the Quran has not really changed its style. It's kind of it's written, what's written is written, and that kind of hasn't changed over however many thousands of years you want to take it. And that was really a shining kind of light for me again, beautiful to see. And that was something again, the Quran, ancient Quran manuscripts was probably my highlight. Uh, Alongside that was Mirza Ghalib's ancient letter that he had written personally himself, which I think we've got that down, one of his pieces down in the Cartwright Hall. So there was, and just we've got some a Palestinian artist about what they were doing, some down there that was really intriguing and really interesting to see. So there was quite a lot of pieces, but really and truly for myself, and this is only speaking on behalf of myself, I was very, very interested to see some of the ancient Quran manuscripts coming from a religious background, and I know the importance it would have had on my father, who's sadly passed away a few years ago. I would have known the importance it would have had on him and my background and my family. So definitely that was a key visit for me.
SubhanAllah. So just before we close, looking ahead, do you have plans to expand the reach of Fighting to be Heard or to embark on similar projects that blend cultural expression with sport?
Absolutely. I think we're taking Fighting to be Heard kind of. I don't know if this out in the open yet or anything, but I've been, asked by the Cartwright Hall team and the museum team. I think we're embarking on a journey up to, I think it's Cardiff. Again, they're very intrigued in what we've done
Awesome.
down here, but I don't know. It's going to be like a panel question, so I think we're looking to kind of enlighten them of what Fighting to be Heard was like or has been. And I think we were in small discussions on taking another step further. It could possibly mean, but don't hold me to this, but inshallah, you never know. It might be even some more ancient manuscripts, and possibly the oldest one that we have been able to see, including Dr. Sohail and all our team, seeing if there's a possibility in trying and persuading to get that over to Bradford. But again, don't hold me to that. That's a journey I'm going to take alongside with the team. So hopefully there might be some. But I don't think this is going to be an end here for a similar thing like Fighting to be Heard. It was a great success, and I think there's going to be more to come, inshallah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tasif, for sharing your insights and experiences. Fighting to be Heard is more than an exhibition. It's a testament to the power of interdisciplinary collaboration and cultural expression. For our listeners and watchers, the exhibition runs until April the 27th, 2025 at
Yeah.
Cartwright Hall Gallery in Bradford.
Guys, it's until April the 27th. I'm sure Kash will give you the details again. One thing I will say is it's been a long journey and a long persuasive journey back and forth and a hard journey to get those pieces and get some of those pieces, especially those Quran manuscripts, over to Bradford. Make the most of it. That's the only thing I'm going to say, because once they're gone, again, we can't guarantee that similar things will be back here. And like I did say, and I wasn't lying in saying, a lot of people who I'm talking to directly here who are listening will have probably paid thousands of pounds as family members to go other side of the world to see similar things, to do similar trips. We've got them in Bradford, guys. Make the most of it. Take your family and friends, even surrounding areas. Get the message out there. We've got the last week now, kids' holidays as well. Make the most of it. Take them down to the park. Enjoy the weather at the same time. Have a great trip out the Cartwright Hall.
Awesome. So the exhibition, like Tasif said, runs until April 27th, 2025 at Cartwright Hall Art Gallery in Bradford in Lister Park. Don't miss this unique opportunity to witness the convergence of boxing and calligraphy. Thank you very much for joining us, Tasif. In B4B TV, bringing you real stories from real people and real Bradford. We'll see you again next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, B4B.
You've been watching B4B TV. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And join us next time for another episode.